morning and welcome to our Board of Commissioners meeting for August 4th. And we will begin as is customary with the observance of a moment of silence. Thank you. Please rise for the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now is the time for public comment, if there is any to be had. If not, we will move along to the approval of the minutes. We have two workshops in our packet on the 13th and 20th of July, and then we have the July 21st minutes as well. So we look for approval.
Make a motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved. Mrs. Newland, good morning.
Yes, good morning. We had receipts on August the 2nd and August the 3rd of $1,951,873.67. That brings us to a total cash of $3,524,259.47. We had expenditures of $2,523,971.16. The tax claim $63,471.20, leaving us $936,817.11.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report subject to audit.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the treasurer's report. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you, Sally. Good morning.
Good morning. Michelle Snavely, Director of Human Resources.
Morning.
Under personnel transactions, resignations and terminations, David Bindler, casual part-time court clerk, clerk of courts, resignation effective July 6th. Paul McMullen, jury attendant from the courts, removal effective retro to November 15th of 2021. Gary Love, jury attendant courts, resignation effective July 19th. And Maureen Marankov, jury attendant courts, resignation effective June 20th. Mark Garcia, full-time correctional officer, termination effective July 22nd. And Gina Carlo Torres, full-time correctional officer, resignation effective August 14th. Brianna Roberts, EI caseworker 2 at MHADEI, resignation effective August 25th.
Motion.
Motion to approve those resignations.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those transactions. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Under leaves of absence, Helen Lytle from Area Agency on Aging, 60-day leave of absence, effective June 21st with an expected return date of September 13th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve that leave. Any questions regarding that motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Under other transactions, I have three motions. The first, to approve Children and Youth Administrator Aaron Moyer's recommendation to create one additional caseworker 2/child abuse investigator position at a grade 10 on the Social Services Union salary chart, effective immediately. This position is 80% state funded.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Children and Youth Administrator's recommendation. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Motion to approve Children and Youth Administrator Aaron Moyer's recommendation to create two social service aide/case aide positions at a grade 8 on the new non-union salary chart, effective immediately. This position is these positions are 80% state funded.
Second the motion.
We make the motion first.
I'll make a motion. I apologize.
I'll second that.
Okay, I think we have it in the right order now.
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve Director Moyer's recommendation. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Motion to approve Children and Youth Administrator Aaron Moyer's recommendation to create an additional fiscal technician position at a grade 12 on the new non-union salary chart effective immediately. This position is 80% state funded.
Motion carried.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this request by Director Moyer. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Area Agency on Aging would like to hire Elizabeth Wolfow as an office support 2 at the rate of $1,077.16 biweekly effective August 15th. Area Agency on Aging would like to hire Howard Day as an office support 2 at the rate of $1,077.16 biweekly effective August 15th. Area Agency on Aging would like to hire Cindy Cassius as a part-time senior center manager 1 at the rate of $16.60 per hour effective August 15th. Children and Youth Services would like to rehire Camilla Arguelles as a caseworker 2 at the rate of $1,319.29 biweekly effective August 8th. President Judge Towalk would like to hire Brian Moffett as a court officer at the rate of $12.27 per hour effective August 15th. And the district attorney would like to hire Matthew J. Smith as a detective at the rate of $2,562.25 biweekly effective August 8th.
Make a motion to approve all the hires as presented.
Second.
The motion has been set forth, and with a second, any questions or comments regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. Before you go further, Sheriff Small.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip her? All right, changes of status, transfers, and promotions. Sherry Small, promotion from general clerk C to clerk of court, in the clerk of court's office to second deputy in the pathonetary's office at the rate of $1,058.56 biweekly effective August 8th.
Motion approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve that transaction. Any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Moving on to salary board, motion to approve all transactions previously read plus the following. Cody Ludwig, longevity payment, full-time corporal at the LCCF. It's a $1,500 payment, one time, effective August 4th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve that longevity payment, recognizing 10 years of service. Any comments or questions regarding the motion? We will approve in addition to that all the other salary board recommendations. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. Thank you. Tree killer. Wonderful. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Holly.
Good morning.
So would you like to introduce yourself and then you may continue?
Good morning. I'm Holly Leahy, Administrator for Lebanon County Mental Health, Intellectual Disabilities, Early Intervention Programs. This morning I'm here for several different items. I'll start with the financial items first. For MHIDEI, we have contract amendments for fiscal year 21-22. There are in total 15 provider amendments. That includes 7 for early intervention, 4 for intellectual disabilities, and 4 for mental health. These are primarily due to additional units of service and higher provider expenses. The total contract changes of $105,128. All would be kind of covered under our current allocation through state and federal funds. We are not seeking any additional county dollars to cover these expenditures.
I'll make a motion to approve the 15 contract amendments for $105,128 total.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any question or comment regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
The next item are for MHIDEI building amendments. So we continue to try to make improvements as we're able to the agency building at 220 East Leland Street. So this is kind of a little of everything, if you will note, but should put our building in pretty good shape for years to come. The only remaining item of note would be our roof. That we're going to need to have someone come in and take. We are having issues with drainage, and it is puddling on the flat roof. So that would be the last item.
Holly, excuse me, would you like to describe where your building is located?
Our building is located at 220 East Lehman Street. It used to be an old Catholic school when it was originally built in 1967. And we moved into that building about 30 years ago. It's very close to Henry Cobb Elementary School, so it's right on Main Street.
Thank you just for those.
Absolutely, sure. The total building amendments is $166,299. And again, all would be covered under our allocation through some federal funds. We are not seeking any additional county dollars to cover these expenditures.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those building amendments as presented. Any questions regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you. The next item are MHIDEI contract amendments for our current fiscal year, which just began on July 1 for 2022-2023. There are 11 provider amendments, and that's across the mental health, intellectual disabilities, and early intervention programs. These are primarily due to rate changes prompted by the state and new services for consumers. There are also 3 building-related amendments. One being we switched our HVAC service maintenance contract from County Line Mechanical to GF Bowman. The total for those contract changes is $11,824. And again, those would be coverage through our current allocation. We are not seeking any additional county dollars to cover those expenditures.
I'll make a motion for the $11,824 for the 11 provider contracts.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions regarding those amendments?
Is that current allocation federal and state?
Excuse me, Jim, would you be recognized before you
Oh, sorry.
jump in there? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Current allocation for that, is that state and federal, just state?
It is state and federal dollars. We get those through block grant funding, through state and federal, and then there are some county match dollars that are required for some of those line items. And it's for some of those, it's a 10% county match.
Yeah, and one other question, that previous amendment for the building, you said federal, is that federal only, there's no state funding there?
No, that's the same. Would be
It's
our
federal
state
and
and
state.
federal through our block grant funds.
Thank you.
Important thing is no county. That's kind of,
Correct. Yes, we're not seeking any county tax dollars to cover those.
And I need to say where else it comes from, so
Of
I'm sure
course.
that'll cover, thank you.
Yes.
thank you. All right, there's a yes,
Just, and maybe this is more for commissioners more so than Holly, but either one. These buildings, these various different office buildings outside of the commissioners or the county municipal building, Holly's handling the maintenance and the HVAC contract and the roofing. I mean, is that typically the way it's done with these off-campus buildings where you handle that versus like a county maintenance person or something?
depends on the scope of it, but yes, they're the frontline folks that can observe what needs to be done, so we rely on them to, if we get to a point where it needed to be bid or something, then we would go through a process here, but it's coordinated with us, but not, the directors are primary.
And also on the roof, the impending improvements, would that be covered under your allocation, do you suppose, or?
It depends. We really don't know what we're looking at as far as the roof. That would definitely be a bid process. So if we're looking at needing to put a whole new roof on that building, it will be a very expensive expenditure. And I'm not sure that we'll be able to cover that through state and federal dollars. So that will definitely be a conversation that we would need to have with the
Part of the capital budget.
commissioners. Right.
We've replaced some roofs before when insulation was needed. And if that turns out to be the case, then the Honeywell kind of arrangement is a possibility where there's a guaranteed return on investment, so to speak, by replacing everything and putting in the insulation. That would save heat dollars and that sort of thing. Air conditioning.
Yeah, I do have something. So I think it was last June or July, we talked and we did a story in Leadtown about the changes you were making out at the building
Right.
in East Lehman. And I don't believe you were there that day, but I spoke with one of your, the lady who was,
You did.
yeah. Have all those been finished as by way of an update? And second part of that is some of these building amendments covering the cost for those previous projects?
No, these would be new,
Mhm.
new projects. They would not. We have completed all of those projects, and this would be kind of like a second wave that we were able to do due to underutilization during fiscal year 21-22. So we do anticipate that this next fiscal year, we hope that we will be back to more typical service utilization. So we are not expecting any additional monies to be available during this fiscal year. So it was really quite an opportunity to have those funds during the last couple of years as we build back after the pandemic.
Yeah, because I think there was painting of walls, doing some repairs works
Yes.
from cosmetic things inside, the new lobby. You fixed the back side of the structure where it was dilapidated. I think some of the brick was falling down.
Yes.
So all that's been done. It's all completed.
Yes, that has been completed.
I forgot to add at the beginning of the meeting that we've had several inquiries. Just Jamie is on with, I'm not sure what device. Is he?
Zoom.
Okay, he's on by Zoom. Okay. Just so you know, if there's Jamie, if there's anything you need to jump in with to correct anything, please. I forgot to mention that you're participating electronically this morning. Maybe not. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, and then finally, I'm here this morning to present the Lebanon County Human Services Plan for fiscal year 2022-2023. Just a little bit of information about the Lebanon County Human Services Plan. Before I do so,
I heard you.
Man who needs no introduction, but please introduce yourself.
My name is James Don Moyer. I'm the director of Lebanon County Drug and Alcohol.
And you are also physically located in the same building that's getting this
Correct.
attention, yeah.
Right.
thank you for joining us, Jim. So the Human Services Plan is something that is required by every county in the state of Pennsylvania by the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. So it is an annual plan. Each year we receive our guidelines from the Department of Human Services as to what is to be included in that plan. This year we received the guidelines for the plan on June 16 of 2022. We pretty much began writing the plan very quickly because it's a very quick turnaround for that. We're required to have 2 public hearings, of which we held on July 20th and July 27th. And then, of course, to present and speak to the county commissioners with regard to this plan. The final plan is due August 19th. So you can tell that within 2 months, we have a very, very quick timeline for completion of all the required elements. We have met all of those required elements. The Human Services Plan is created by the Social Services Departments within Lebanon County. That includes Lebanon County Commission on Drug and Alcohol Abuse, the Mental Health, Intellectual Disability, Early Intervention Programs, Lebanon County Probation Services, and Lebanon County Community Action Partnership. So we all contribute toward the Human Services Plan. I must say though that the county staff are developing this plan all year long. So we know that we're going to have to submit a formal plan sometime in the late spring or summer. But we are really meeting with all of our committees, our work groups, our task forces, our advisory boards, stakeholder meetings. There are surveys that are done and needs assessments, and we're utilizing all of that information and placing that into the Human Services Plan. All sections include the services that are provided and the number of individuals served through those services. Also included are services needed for that identified population. So if there's something that we're missing or something that we really need to implement, but we haven't been able to identify the funds, those are in those sections as well. The plan is 69 pages in total. That includes the mental health section, which is the largest, at 34 pages. The intellectual disability section, which is 7 pages. The homeless assistance and human services development funds are 5 pages. Substance abuse is 6 pages. And then we also have our financial section, which is a large spreadsheet at the end, which is 2 very large with our financials for all of those sections and all of the services delivered. I would love to give you tons of information about the Human Services Plan because there's so much in the plan. That's really an overview of what is included in it, following the guidelines. Are there questions with regard to the Human Services Plan? Jim, would you like to add?
I would just like to add that I'm here in support of the plan. And I'm also here if there was any questions related to the substance abuse section of the plan. Like Holly said, it's 6 pages, and there's sections that we got to fill out and complete.
Were there any requests at the hearings that got implemented into the plan?
There was last year, I think it was Commissioner Litz who had a question, and I followed up that question with an answer for last year's report. And this year I included it again in this year's report. Even though it's not required information that they requested, I provided it again for you or whoever else.
Okay, well, I wasn't looking for kudos or anything.
No, no.
But that was quite a coincidence.
That was last year.
Overall, we really didn't have any questions during the public hearings this year. There were, we had a question as to whether or not we were going to be sharing the PowerPoint presentation with everyone who attended, which we absolutely do so. And then with regard to the final plan, that will be shared. And as always, once the Department of Human Services has approved our final plan, that will be posted on the Lebanon County website for anyone to view the plan. And then certainly we're always available to answer any questions that may arise from reviewing the Human Services Plan. Thank you.
Anything else? Yes.
Is the plan what drives the funding determination that the state makes on an annual basis?
The plan is really responding to the state as far as how we have implemented their mandates. So how are we doing with regard to there are reporting requirements that we have and whether or not we are following through with that. With perhaps suicide prevention or overdose deaths. There are many things that are required of us throughout the year. And it's really responding as far as how we have done in implementing those things and responding to the state's requests to address what needs to be addressed within our county.
Were there any deficiencies that you uncovered as you developed the plan?
We did not find any deficiencies. Certainly the service system is always evolving. And I say that because our community and our culture is always evolving. And so as we identify new things that could be implemented in response to evidence-based services or more recovery-oriented services, then that's an opportunity for us to really review the system. What are we currently providing? And whether or not we can actually add to that service line. So I think that it is a really great opportunity to review what we're currently doing, what we have been doing, and perhaps what we need to think about implementing if we have the funds to do so. And I will say that is often the sticking point with some of the more costly of those services and supports that may be requested by the state. But we haven't received additional, we've been flat funded, at least through the mental health system have been flat funded. This would be the 11th year that we've received flat funding through the state and federal monies.
Then Holly, wasn't there a 10% cut during that 11-year period?
Absolutely. The 10% cut actually happened right before they began the flat funding years. So yes, we were cut 10%. And then every year thereafter, including this year, this will be the 11th year in a row that we are flat funded, so no additional funding. So even though inflation and all the providers and services and supports are more costly to provide just because of inflation, we haven't been able to fully respond to that because our allocation just has not increased to meet the demands.
A lot of that's made up by some of the county support. So
Yes,
it's-
absolutely.
And am I right, did I read that you have like 5,040 clients you're servicing, something of that nature? There was a number of.
Cumulatively, yes, throughout all of those programs. So
That's
it's a very
amazing.
large amount. And Commissioner, let's bring up a good point in that those numbers are ever increasing to meet the demands and to those that really need services and supports within our community. And that is increasing. Our crisis intervention is seeing extremely high volumes of individuals. On average, we're seeing at least 300 individuals, if not more, in our crisis intervention on any given month. So the numbers are really increasing. The volume is quite large.
And-
Okay.
Sorry.
Good.
I was just gonna say, and that's proportional, just an observation to our increasing population. There's a natural increase in mental health and drug and alcohol needs because of our higher population.
I was just going to say that there's such a spotlight been put on MH in so many ways that you would think that someone's attention would be, and I think that, at the state level to recognize what deficiencies we've had in the budget over a decade. It's kind of out of touch with the needs.
Right. This year, they had indicated that, potentially increased monies for mental health. However, what was approved in the end were just one-time monies through ARPA funds that are not sustainable funds. So they will potentially look towards some grant opportunities, but again, they're not sustainable funds. So if we would use those one-time monies, they would create something that simply would not be sustainable without the sustainable funding to do so. So it kind of puts everyone in a difficult position as to how to handle the increased needs and whether or not to implement new and innovative ideas.
Let something go wrong, and that's, I forget, do we have a motion yet? I don't think so. We need a motion to.
A motion to approve the human services plan.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Or same sign, so moved. Thank you
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Morning. Warden, if you'd like to introduce yourself, then you may proceed.
Good morning, I'm Tina Litz, the warden at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. I have in front of you a request to extend our BioPass contract for an extension from 2026 to 2028, so we can move forward with the 1-to-1 tablet ratio. There will be a policy forthcoming for such.
Well, they seem to have really been a good investment, even though there's no cost, but I mean investment in personnel or the people who are using the educational programs. And I think with the reduced staff we had through COVID, it was a godsend that they came when they did. So I see value in them, and I will make a motion to approve the APAC GTL contract.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any questions regarding this motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Have a good day.
thank you. You too. We're getting these good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Who's the new guy?
Oh my goodness, look at the good shape. Hey, you look great.
He looks
Thank you,
different,
thank
right?
Just for you guys.
Yes, I appreciate that. If you'd like to introduce yourselves and proceed with your, I think we have a minute allocated for every 10 pages. So go ahead.
So we'll be here an hour, okay?
I'm Karen Rao. I'm the Executive Director for the Lebanon County Redevelopment Authority.
And I'm Dan Lyons, Programs Director for the Redevelopment Authority.
So we'll just do one request at a time. Is that how you want us to proceed? Okay. So the first thing.
Excuse me, unless there's two that you could couple with one motion, but otherwise we'll do them individually.
Okay. Well, the first thing we'd like to ask is for permission to apply for the continued funding for the first-time homebuyer program through the Department of Community and Economic Development Home Program. And along with that, we intend to apply for $400,000 of home funding for this round. And we would like for you to consider a match of $150,000 from the Act 137 Affordable Housing Trust Fund towards this application. The funding for this round will happen around November, and we don't expect to receive the funds actually until next year, and we will run out of funding soon. So the $150,000 would help fill that gap to help additional home buyers. We have about 6 people that we are working with right now for the home buyers and 2 rehabs also. So that $150,000 would help us assist them.
Are they all in the city? I'm sorry.
But it also helps with the application in terms of the weight of the support of the county type,
Yes.
in terms of their view of that.
I don't believe they're all in the city. I believe they're county.
That's right, the county's program at the moment, the county's home program for first-time home buyer covers the entire county, including the city of Lebanon. The rehab program for owner occupants is exclusive of the city.
Well, I think it's really an important program, and I have no problem with withdrawing the money you're asking for. However, what is the balance?
Right now, there is approximately $1.9 million in the affordable checking.
Okay, so we're investing in local citizens to become homeowners, and I don't think we're too low that we can't do that. I mean, that's my opinion. I'll make a motion to approve the home application first-time home buyer program with a $150,000 match from our housing trust fund.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this request. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you. Okay, our second request is the county's Housing Accessibility and Senior Home Repair Program. In the past, the Act 137 fund had provided funding for all of that, but we have been able to get a FAIR grant to help with that. And we are again going to be applying for that FAIR grant, which is in November. But we are requesting $50,000 out of the Act 137 fund to help ensure the program remains operational until future fair funding arrives and to continue to serve the people in that program as well.
Motion to approve that request.
I'll also second that motion. Is there like 25 households affected there or something?
That's right, with your existing program, we're running out of funding in the existing program, but so far, you've already assisted 25 households. And that is seniors over the age of 60. And the program helps them make repairs to one of their major systems, whether it's a roof, heating, bathroom. And it also helps persons with permanent disabilities, regardless of age, and regardless whether they're homeowners or not, to make accessibility improvements to their housing. Things like wheelchair ramps, and accessible bathrooms.
And so like if there are seniors or someone who is handicapped that needs these services listening, can you tell them the best way to contact you?
Sure. Anyone who's interested in any of our programs, whether it's for senior citizens, for persons with disabilities, people interested in becoming home buyers or getting rehab done to their property, should contact Jody Chernich in our office, and she can be reached at 717-274-1401. Her extension is 134. That'll get you directly to Jody. She does all the intake for our programs.
Thank you.
So did you actually second the motion?
It was second if I didn't. Thank you for keeping track on.
Any discussion regarding the motion? Not all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last two items on our agenda are mostly administrative. With the county's community development block grant program, we have construction projects that are about to begin. One actually began on Tuesday in Jonestown. They are doing complete reconstruction of East Blackberry Street. That project and then a project in South Lebanon Township both need additional funding due to just the way costs have been inflated in construction since those projects were originally budgeted, which was 2 years ago. Within the community development block grant budgets, we have money left over in completed projects and in placeholder projects that we'd like to allocate to these construction projects to close the funding gap.
Motion approved.
And I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded that we approve those construction project monies. Any questions or comments?
You want to say the total amount of those?
Let me see if I have that here.
Is up to 500?
It's actually, I think we're moving somewhere around $30,000 for Jonestown. And then in the South Lebanon project, they're taking it from their acquisition rehab resale program and moving it to the stormwater project. And that's maybe $200,000. A lot of that $200,000 was intended for the stormwater project. It's just the way funding was shifted between activities depending on which activity needed the money at that time.
Again, it's a block grant situation. That's great.
Yeah.
Jim, did you have a question?
Yes, she asked you, Commissioner Litz answered the one question about the amount. The second one was, what's going on in South Lebanon Township?
South Lebanon Township is doing a stormwater management project in the alley between King Street and East Old Cumberland Street. So this is an area where the homes were being flooded. They will, right now it's just a gravel alley. They're going to install stormwater management infrastructure to convey the stormwater into their system and then pave that alley so that the people who park off that alley will have improved access to their parking and their properties. At the same time, they take care of the stormwater issue. And they're moving funding from one of their other community development activities into this program.
We have a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor, please indicate by saying
Aye.
aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you. And then the last item is to have administrative and cooperation agreements approved for a number of grants that were recently received on behalf of the county. we have the county's annual community development block grant contracts for fiscal years 2020 and 2021, which involve an administrative agreement with the redevelopment authority and a cooperation agreement with South Lebanon Township. And then for the county's home program, this year we received a grant of nearly $700,000 to convert the redevelopment housing authority office building in Cleona, make the first floor into 6 one-bedroom apartments for seniors, affordable housing. So that grant, county has received that grant. We're asking approval of the administrative agreement for the redevelopment authority to administer the grant, and then a subrecipient agreement with the owner of that building who will be benefiting from the use of those funds.
Question, any of those handicap?
None of them are fully handicap accessible. They
Are
are
they
all,
visitable?
they are all visitable. Unfortunately, given the limited amount of space, if we were to make one entirely handicap accessible, it would be at the expense of another unit.
There will be an elevator, an
An
elevator
elevator.
installed in the back though, so that they can access it if they can't do steps. That is-
Correct. Yes, all apartments will be fully visitable, which means that someone with, mobility handicap can get in and visit the apartments. The doors will be wide enough for a wheelchair. They'll have the elevator access, so they don't need to go on stairs. It just won't meet the more exacting standards of becoming fully ADA compliant living unit.
Need a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion further? Yes?
Am I correct, at one meeting, I think last year, wasn't there also going to be the carrying cupboard or one of the pantries?
That is correct. This is the old Lebanon Valley Insurance Building
Right.
on 422 in Cleona. The second floor will remain office space for the Housing and Redevelopment Authority. The first floor will be the 6 one-bedroom apartments, and then the plan is to have a food pantry in the basement. And it will be, I think, the carrying cupboard or the same proprietor.
Yes, that might not happen with this grant. We probably need more money for that, but yes, that is part of the plan, to make that, the basement will be part of the Karen cupboard.
Just before we vote, the 12th Street property, can you remind me what you're gonna do with that?
We actually, I have an appointment with MHIDEI. We're going to be talking about if they might be able to use that for their program. I'm meeting with them next week, so I'm hoping we can use that in partnership with that in some way.
If nothing else, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Or same sign, so moved.
Thank you very much, and I'll just leave these signature pages.
Thank you for being so coordinated. It looks like you're working on a team there.
Yeah, that's what we're striving for, right? Teamwork, and we like that.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
We do appreciate your clean shavenness. Oh, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean anything by that.
Are you gonna come looking like that next time?
Yes.
Of course, he has more on his face, but less on the phone.
Please. Thank you.
Right. You may introduce yourself and then go ahead with the request.
I am Bob Dowd, I'm the Director of Emergency Services, and I am here today to present 3 change orders, which, if it's okay with you, I just want to kind of go over holistically, and then could be a single approval. First change order is with the electrical contractor. Total amount of $3,257.72. This is to add some lighting fixture protection for all the lights that are on the ground, and it is to accommodate a change that Med requires for the way the light wires.
Saw that about the elbows. They went from plastic to.
Yeah, it's, you never really know when they come out and look at it and say this is what they require. You just have to.
So they have a written policy and then you have to do something more.
Sometimes you're, at the mercy of the inspector, whoever's coming out from that end.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
I think
I
we're
thought-
gonna
Oh,
consider
you're
them
the
all.
Yep, I can talk about all three of them and then we can.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The next one is with the plumbing contractor. Total amount of this is $27,914. And this is to add some hose connections outside the building and inside the building for vending areas, and then put in some drains to the rooftop systems to make sure the condensate is drained in such a way that it won't cause any damage or long-term problems with roof. And the final one is a general contractor change for a total of $23,343. This is to repair a sinkhole that was found when they were excavating in one of the detention areas. And to change the fencing area around the front and change the helipad area to a concrete mix rather than a pavement mix, which is a longevity thing. So the total amount, change orders, $54,514.72. And it's worth noting that these are expected out of this building. When we budgeted and brought it for approval, it came with a 5% contingency to accommodate those types of things. And there will be lots of them out of the complexity of a building like this. So everything so far hasn't changed anything. It's just to accommodate or to correct little things that we find along the way.
Well, that being said, I now make a motion to approve the 3 proposals for contract amendments.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions regarding the motion? Not all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you very much.
Just a reminder, what's 5% of what number?
About 1.7. So what the contingency is about 1.7.
That's what's
That would be used about 70,000. So
okay. Thank you, Robert. Have a good day.
morning.
Morning, Mr. Hess. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and then proceed with your,
My name is Chief Hess. I'm with the Lebanon County Detective Bureau. I'm here for approval for the Police Traffic Services Grant. Excuse me. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is the source of the grant. And we use it for impaired driving patrols. Prior to, I believe, 2019, the occupant protection, click it or ticket, and aggressive driving were managed by the individual police agencies. Sometimes either 2019 or prior, it all came under one grant, was managed by the county. We've been doing it since I've been down there and prior to. Gives us money for our impaired driving and roving patrols. We also manage the funds that are used by the local departments for aggressive driving, click it or ticket. I think in 2021, we added a pedestrian silo, as they call it. So it's not really a matter of if we'll get the grant, it's a matter of when and how much based on the crash.
Speaking of how much, did you say the amount of the grant?
I'm not sure. Like I said, it'd be based on crash statistics and then allocated based on that.
Okay, so the statistics in here are not,
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're looking at.
well, they have impaired driving,
yeah,
aggressive driving.
those are the statistics that the grant will be based on.
Okay, so you can't calculate it, the state has to calculate it.
At some point, they'll say so much money is allocated to Cleona Borough, for example, for aggressive driving. And then depending on, there is some flexibility to the grant as far as if Lebanon City is unable to use portions of the grant or South Lebanon is unable to use portions of the grant, then we have some flexibility to say Cleona has used all of theirs and they're out of their grant money and we can do some of that.
So you do have the statistics, you just don't have the dollars and cents.
That's correct.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, motion approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the police traffic service enforcement grant request. Any questions regarding the motion?
Do you know what prior amounts of the grant?
I don't have those. I don't have those.
by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Is that information available online if she would like to look it up on the state website or something, do you know?
I don't think the specific amounts for Lebanon County would be available online.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get it for you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Ready? All right, now we move over to the miscellaneous.
All right. Dawn Felicio, Administrative Assistant, filling in for Jamie. First up, I have an agreement for sale of real estate property from the Gerald Idris Estate to the County of Lebanon for a property at 1670 Highlandale Road in North Lebanon Township. It's for 1.29 acres of land for the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail, and the purchase price is $75,000. And settlement should be before August 30th at Zimmerman Law Office in Jonestown.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 1.29 acres for $75,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and the source of those funds, Lebanon County funding. Well, in any event, it'll be the rail trail process.
Right.
Any questions regarding that? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, next I have an application of county liquid fuels money for South Anvil Township they're looking for a project of county aid for line painting for 2022. Their estimated project cost is $2,850, and they are requesting the full amount of $2,850.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquid fuels request from South Anvil for $2,850.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve that liquid fuels allocation. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, and then I have 4 disabled veterans. First, I have Lori Miller of South Lancaster Avenue in Schaeferstown, Gerald Keir of Ginger Court, Lebanon, Henry Finkel of Woodland Estates, Lebanon, and Roberto Cruz Izareri from East Lehman Street in Lebanon.
Make a motion to approve those exceptions.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those real estate exemptions for those disabled veterans. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, and then lastly, I have a hotel tax application from the Community Health Council of Lebanon for their Tower to Town race for 2022 at Optimus Park. Their total project cost is $10,000, and they are requesting $2,500, which is their 4th annual Tower to Town race that will be held on October the 2nd, taking runners from the trails of Governor Dix into the city of Lebanon. This year's proceeds from the race is for the construction of the John E. Wangert Memorial Park along Chestnut Street, which is part of the Phase 6 of the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail.
I'll make a motion to approve the $2,500 hotel tax grant request from the Community Health Council.
Second.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Any questions or comments regarding this hotel tax grant? Not all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, and just to clear that rail trail one, the purchase of the easement was made by the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail.
Thank you, Jean. Anything else to come before the board? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, we stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance and your participation.